We're up and we're doing this. Welcome to the HerVenture and GTT webinar, where we're going to do some deep diving into financial management. Today, I'm joined by our coach, Prem, who will be taking through this module. And of course, we've got a team from GTT who will be presenting on the MMG app. Now, just a little intro. The HerVenture app, my apologies. Let me just, all right. Everyone can hear me? Yes, everybody can hear me?
Yep.
Awesome, great. All right, a little intro into the HerVenture app. Now, it is a business modules that walk you through from starting the business to marketing the business to expand HerVenture app. So it builds your confidence, it educates you, it allows you to connect with other persons. And that is what the HerVenture app, and it offers so much more, of course. I'm gonna ask that you give me a quick thumbs up if it is that you have not downloaded the HerVenture app. If it is that you haven't downloaded the HerVenture app, you can just indicate by giving me a thumbs up really quickly. So I don't see any. I'm gonna presume that everybody has HerVenture. All right, let's thumbs up if you got the HerVenture app then. Awesome, awesome. All right, great. Okay, now back in December 17th to be specific, GTT would have collaborated with the Guyana, and then we have joined in this collaboration. Hence, we're here. We're bringing this webinar to you to empower you, to educate you. Our team, we're here, the GTT team, as I mentioned, they're here to present, and we're gonna, let's prepare ourselves. So please, if you have a notebook, or if you're tech savvy and you want to use your notepad on your phone, please ready, because we've got a lot in a short time, so we're going to make it really, really exciting for you. All right, I'm going to introduce Coach. So that wonderful app they have over there at GTT.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Give me 1 minute. Let me share the screen.
Yes, we can see.
All right, good, perfect. So, hi guys, my name is Kashella John, and I am the Business Development Officer attached to Mobile Money Guyano. We are the wholly subsidiary of GTT, and our tagline is Live a Life Easy. Can anyone say if they've ever used MMG before? Just by a show of thumbs up. Great. So we have users. 1 minute. So for those that don't know what MMG is, I will do a short introduction. There is so much I can say, but because of the time limit, I won't be able to say. So we are the wholly owned subsidiary of GTT, as I mentioned before. We officially launched in 2010. So we are currently about 12 years old right now. We have currently 50,000 users, which includes agents, merchants, subscribers, and billers. And the good news is that right now we process over $1 billion in bill payment on a monthly basis. Ryan? Good. So you might want to know how you can be a part of MMG, how you can use MMG for your business. So there are 3 ways. So we have the merchant account, which allows your customers to pay you using MMG. So let's say you have a delivery service and you don't have physical contact, with your customers. You can set up a merchant account with us and they will be able to pay you. I lost contact with everyone. Anyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. So the merchant account is completely free. You don't have to pay anything to sign up. You only pay per transaction, and we provide everything else. The plus or the biggest selling point when it comes to merchants account is this. So instead of you have one person pay you via MMG, you don't have to go to a GTT location or any one of our agents to cash out the money. What happens is that we send that money from your MMG merchant account to your bank account, completely free. After the call, we can discuss how you can set it up, but it's very simple, just a few documents and your bank statement. Then we have the agent account. The agent account is those businesses, which is most likely in your area where we have small shops, and they do the whole works of MMG. They sell top up, they sell MMG deposits, they pay your bills, they do withdrawals, and so forth. If you're interested in becoming one of our agents, you can reach out to any one of us. And let's say you don't want a merchant account or an agent account, but you want as a personal account for yourself. We have the subscriber account. Just like the merchant account, it is completely free to set up. And this is what you can do with your subscriber account. You can pay your personal bills or your family bills. You can send or receive money. So let's say you don't have a business bank account or you don't have a personal bank account, but you still want your customers to pay you via MMG. For now, you can start using the subscriber account, and then later on, when you start get more customers and the demand is more, and you don't want your funds, to stay within your MMG account, you can move to the merchant account. But I would always advise you to get a merchant account. It's very safe and effective. With all that I've said, is there any questions? Hello.
From the sound of that, there are no questions. That means it was well received.
Okay, but in case you guys have any questions, you could always reach out to us. So when it comes to making applications, if you don't want to call us or send an email, what you can do is go to our website, which is mmg.gy, and you can choose if you want a customer account or a business account. You send that application, to us, and within 24 hours, we'll make contact with you. If you send your application and for some reason, which is highly unlikely, we then make contact with you, you can make contact with us. So if it's a business account, you can call us on 227-9197. You guys can write this number down. Or if it's a personal account or a subscriber account, you can call 227-9189. That's it. Any questions now, or you guys are clear?
Good afternoon, everyone. Just one question on the MMG being an agent.
Sure.
I noticed you stated that the agents perform a number of duties. Are your agents, do they have to perform all the duties, like doing the deposits, paying bills, and so on? Or do they get to choose which one of the duties they want to do, like if they just want to do deposits or they just want to do bill payment or C point only, or do they get to choose? Because I noticed some agents are doing that, and I just want to know if it's something that is against your policy or if agents have a choice in choosing which one of the services they want to offer on their MMG.
Good question, Kilona. So when we sign up, Kilana, sorry.
Kelowna.
So, Kelowna, okay, Kelowna. I have to call you Miss Carmichael. So when we sign up agents, they have to offer all the services that we offer. If you find that there's a case where you go to an agent and they're not accepting or they're not doing withdrawal or deposit, what you can do is make contact with me and we can get that addressed, because that's not supposed to happen.
All right, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more questions? Okay, I'll take it as just correct. So Selena, over to you. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. All right, that was great. All right, so now you learn about MMG and all of the fantastic benefits that it offers. Bill payment from the comfort of your home, etc. Now let's hop on back over to HerVenture. Now, if it is that you have not downloaded this app, I just send the links in the description, rather in the chat box. You can go ahead and click there to download the app and experience all it has to offer. And when you download the app, you're entered into a promotion to win one of 4 phones. But we've got something else that you will be able to benefit from. But that's for the end. Now, I just want to introduce our dearest coach, Prem, who will be taking you on this learning journey today in financial management, money management, such a big deal. I would like you to please virtually clap for our coach, Prem, as he takes over. Coach Prem, take it away.
Right. Thank you, Selena. Can you hear me? Yep. All right. Awesome. All right. So good afternoon, everyone. I trust that you are having a fabulous afternoon and you are ready to learn about numbers. Now, numbers can sometimes be an itchy subject, right? So how many of you love your numbers? You can give me a thumbs up or you can give me something in the chat box. You love your numbers. Numbers have always been something that I love, right? It's so important as business owners that we learn to love our numbers. And that is something we're going to talk about. Be able to understand the importance of understanding your numbers. All right. So I want this session to be an interactive session for the callers, for the persons on the call. So what I want you to do is to put in the chat box what business you're into. What's your business, right? So you can probably use the chat box and you can put it in there. So I'll share my screen now while you put in your businesses in the chat box so I can have an idea of the type of businesses that you have. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Virtual thumbs up if you can. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Olivia. All right, so we have some businesses coming through, some messages coming through. Awesome, guys. All right, so what I also want you to do is, if you notice on your screen, you'll see a code and a site there. It's menti.com. menti.com. I need you to log into that site. So Selena, if you can put that in for me, my apologies. Just came up. MENTI. And there is a code there that they'll ask you for. It is 64856521. It's right to the top of the screen if you can see it. So we have persons in jewelry, we have persons in PR and communication, coaching, yep, transportation. Awesome. There you go. Thank you, Selena. All right. So today's session is really going to be a little bit about our first section of our seminar on finance rich. And this is the basic part of action coaching. This is what many of our business owners go through. We also have a seminar on this as well that you can be able to join in with us, register, and you can be able to be a part of that seminar, get the entire module. So it's really about how you can be able to master your numbers in business. One of the important numbers that you need to be aware of is your cash gap. And that is the amount of days that it takes for you to be able to receive money. So you would start, when you start your transactions, you buy stuff, you get money out, then you receive money back when you get paid. So it's important to be able to understand that. Many small businesses, when you've started up, this is what we call sometimes it's the small business killer. It's the small business killer. So you got to be able to understand how your money is flowing through your business. See, one of the reasons I asked if you love your numbers, because it's really a mindset thing. So as we go through our session today, we're going to first touch on mindset. So when you hear numbers, when you hear math, and when you hear you have to calculate your numbers and accounts and so forth, how do you feel? Is it something that gives you anxiety? Are you anxious about it? Are you excited about it when you hear numbers? Give me something in the chat box. Give me a thumbs up if you're excited about numbers, or give me a thumbs down if you're not excited. No? There you go. Someone is excited. There you go. So awesome. So this some persons are a bit unsure. But here's what you do. If you're taking notes, I need you to draw that yellow dot on your pad. That yellow dot indicates how you respond to the numbers in your business and when they come up. What you can do is write attitude next to that. Because when we go through these experiences, or the times that we have to be able to look at our numbers, we have a choice. And the choice is either below that point or above that point. So here's the idea. We want you to be above that point. And it means to understand that you got to be able to have a positive take on numbers. So it's about ownership, it's about who you are as a business owner, and what type of business owner are you. So I challenge you, write down, I am a blank business owner. What would you put in there? Put that in the chat box. So we have optimistic. What type of business owner are you? All right. So the type of business owner will be able to determine your actions, the things that you do, and the things that the results that you get. So that is where we talk about accountability. Intentional business owner. There you go. Successful business owner. What would a successful business owner do when it comes to their numbers? When it comes to accounts and your financial statements, right? So you've got to be able to understand the role that you play, because that determines the actions that you take and the results that you get. So it's understanding the idea of what can I do to be able to get better at my numbers. And that's about mindset. So it's important to be able to understand when we think about our numbers, we think about mindset. You see, here's the thing. You may think that, I'm making profits, I'm making sales and I'm making profits. I have a decent markup on my products, and I'm making profits. Now, here's the thing. Profit is a theory. It's what you can be able to see on your profit and loss or your income statement. That is the theory of it. You can be able to make profit and a return. But cash is what gives you that freedom. You see, you can be able to do business, but yet still you are facing financial challenges. You're not able to pay the people that work with you, or sometimes you find you're not able to pay your suppliers. How many of you can relate to that? Many small business do. So it's understanding the role of being profitable. That's good. You have your markup and you're doing your sales, but it's important that you keep a track of the cash that you have in your business. So this is what actually gives you that freedom. So understand that. You see, the cash gap, it's a idea of how you can be able, gives you an idea of where your money really is. You see, on day one, when we start our business, this is on day 0, if you can see my cursor. This is on day 0. You your stock arrives, you make a purchase, you go to a supplier and you say, all right, can you give me some credit? Can you give me some credit so that I can be able to start my business? Fine. If that goes well, no problem. Day zero, your stock arrives. This is where your stock arrives on day zero. As you have those stock in hand. So this red indicates here that you're holding the stock. It's in your bond, it's in your store, it's in your garage, wherever it is that you have it, and you're holding it there. You got to be able now to sell it, right? Now it comes to day 30, if it's still in the bond or it's still wherever you have it. It comes to day 30, time will come to day 30 when you'll have to pay your suppliers. So no money wasn't paid on day zero, money was paid on day 30 in this scenario. So you make your payments to your suppliers, but yet still no money didn't come in yet. Then we move on to day 40, we move on to day 60. Then your goods are dispatched to your customers. Your customers will come in and say, man, can you give me a couple of days to pay? And I don't have all the money right now, but can you give me a couple of days to pay? And this is where we have this green bar here. And if we're not conscious and this green bar, and we're not conscious of our receivables or persons who owe us, the days extend. This case, it extended to 120 days. Then you actually received your cash. So that is how the cash first leaves your pocket and then it is received in your pocket. What you see at the bottom here, the moment that it leaves your pocket to when you receive it, that is what you call the cash gap. And that is the orange bar there. That indicates it is a 90-day because it was from day 30. The cash left your pocket and it went to day 120. So that is 90 days. And that is a number that we have to be able to understand. What is our cash gap? What is the amount of days that we have that we can be able to receive, or we are receiving our money, or our money is out of our pockets? It is important to be able to have cash in your pockets, because would you get upset if I say your suppliers are stealing from you? Or if someone is, or not your suppliers, your customers are stealing from you? Because when they're not paying you on the day that you establish that you make your payment, and the customer doesn't pay, they're actually stealing from you. Because if that cash was in your pocket or in your bank account, you'll be able to have that freedom. You'll be able to maybe earn some interest on it. So you've got to be able to understand where your money lies. Your pocket, or is it in your customer's pocket? So you got to be able to understand that particular aspect of the cash gap. Now, for those of you who have done this and experienced this, I'm sure you would have looked for ways of how you can be able to get this reduced or be able to collect back your cash. I want you to go to menti.com and type in what methods, what strategies do you think you can be able to use to reduce your cash gap, or that you've used to reduce your cash gap? What do you think? Just let me hear your thoughts. I'll give you 5 minutes to type in your responses. So go to menti.com, put your code in. Awesome, you guys. Human resources, some of you are in human resources. And it's also important to understand, you may feel as if you don't need to buy stuff and you're not in, you don't have an inventory. For those of you who are in the service industry, It's important to be able to understand that it is your hours that count. It is the man hours that you have that is in your inventory. So if you hire someone, it'll be the hours that you have, right? Or the hours that you're working for, or you're paying for. So let's see if we can be able to get someone, some tech savvy participants to participate in our session today. So if you're able to log in, just give me a thumbs up. Menti.com. Because what we'll do, we'll go through some strategies that will be able to help you to be able to get more money in your pocket and give you a better chance of surviving and be able to thrive in the business environment. Or if you're not able to log on to Menti, what you can do is, yes, put it in the chat box. I see some persons are putting it in the chat box. Awesome, awesome. So reducing the receivable period. Yes, that's a good one. In theory, we're going to be able to find something practical that we can be able to use to be able to reduce that. So thank you, Alicia. Anyone else? All right, good. So we'll move on. So thank you, Alicia, for that. Now we have 16 strategies that we'll go through. Who's excited about this? You're excited or not? Yeah, 16 strategies, Selena. So we're going to go through some of those strategies. I trust that you're taking notes. It's important that you are able to get your pen and your pad and you're writing down these thoughts, right? So the first one is you require partial or full payment upfront. Now, yes, that's right. So when you've delivered your products, you have some system in place or some agreement that you have with your customers that you have payment upfront. And that is a simple mindset, simple policy that you can put in place to be able to help you to be able to reduce that cash gap and keep more money in your pocket. So if you can't have a full deposit, at least start with a partial deposit for those of you who are giving credit. For those of you who are making stuff like those jewelry, I think someone says that they're in jewelry. For those of you who have special projects that you're working on, or maybe for those of you who are in training and in human resources and so forth, when the product is finished, we want to be able to make sure that you are invoicing right away. You see, one of the things that happens is that we tend to finish a project and we take some time to do it, to invoice and to be able to receive payment, especially for those bigger companies, those companies that take a long time to pay. Right? There are some institutions and organizations that take a while. So what you do is as soon as you finish your project, you invoice. You get it out there as quickly as possible. You want to be able to immediately on job completion to be able to get it out there. Now, some persons tend to forget, and maybe you don't have a system in place. Now, this is important that you systemize it. You find some way of when a project is completed, you systematically, everyone knows, your team member knows what happens next. So when you have those clear steps in place, that you can be able to, as soon as this project is finished, You invoice it, and everybody knows what to do. So it's important to have a system in place if you are not in charge of it. Let's move on. So we have on a weekly basis, for those of you who have extended cash gaps, you can be able to have it done on a weekly basis. So what happens, it comes in smaller chunks. So it's a constant flow of cash into your business. This is a way that you can be able to make sure that money is coming in. Just like the court's payment or subscriptions, you'll have those payments coming in, so cash is constantly flowing. You also can be able to look at the number of days that you're giving those credit facilities, or that money is out. Look at how you can be able to reduce it. So instead of having 30 days out, you can be able to reduce it to about 7, or maybe not close to 7. You can probably work at 10 or 20, and then you continuously look at reducing it. Here's another one that you can be able to do is to do you can send multiple invoices, where you can be able to stagger those invoices over a period. So if you have a 30-day period, you could send one at day 10, you can send one at day 20, and so forth. So when you systemize it out, what happens is that money now, that system is in place, and that money eventually comes in. Your customer knows it, your team member knows it, and you as well are expecting that payment to come in. There's also incentivizing your customers. So for those who have large payments that they've taken, or orders that they've taken, you can be able to encourage them to say, look, if you come in and you pay early, you can have a percentage off. And that's extra savings for your customers. So these are strategies that you can be able to use. You can be able to, on the other end of incentivizing, those accounts that are overdue, they've passed the deadline, the customers didn't come and make payments. If you have an agreement with that customer that when the payment is overdue, there is an interest, or there's something that you'll have to pay, some kind of penalty, that is an incentive by itself for your customers to make sure that they're paying on time. Then there's also the option of having an external agency do it for you. If you don't have the resources right now in terms of your team members, you can be able to have someone else on the outside doing those processing as well. Then we go to our final couple. It is reducing your inventory. Sometimes we look at stocking up a lot of inventory, especially now with the problems with shipping and bringing stuff in. We want to be able to have a huge inventory. It's so important to be able to understand the amount of money that you have tied up in inventory, because that as well adds to that cash gap, right? So we want to be able to reduce or consider reducing that cash gap for those of you who purchase locally. I think if you're purchasing internationally, you may have fewer options, but if you are purchasing locally and you're getting your resources locally, then it's fine. You can be able to reduce the amount of what we call the reorder point, or the trigger point. So you want to be able to have a small amount of inventory on hand, so you have more cash at hand, because cash is freedom, right? Also, there is an option to negotiate with your suppliers, where you can have the items or your raw materials on consignment. When it is used and it is sold, then you can be able to, the supplier will get paid. And that brings up a very important point. You see, with small businesses, the skill here, that one of the skills that you need to be able to develop is negotiation. be able to have the conversations with your suppliers and your customers as well to say, here's the thing, this is the situation that, I'm in a cash crunch, or can we work out some kind of deal where we can be able to have some kind of facility to be able to go to the bank and have some kind of facility, an overdraft facility. So negotiation, that skill of negotiation and sales is an important aspect for small business owners. You see, what you can do is when you're negotiating with your vendors, you can say, look, I'll purchase this amount from you. I'll purchase a huge amount for you for this year. You see, last year I've done tremendously in sales. I bought so much inventory from you. This year I'm gonna double that amount. So when you go to your suppliers, like, yes, we're gonna double that amount. All right, good, awesome. I'm gonna give you a good price. When you get a good price, you lock in that price and say, all right, so I'm gonna make payments in parts, but let's lock in that price. And that's a negotiation skill that you can be able to use to be able to lock in your prices, but yet still have a steady flow of your inventory. So in short, that is a couple of strategies that you can be able to use in your business. I trust that you were able to get some takeaways from it. You can unmute, you can share with us, you can put it in the chat box. What was the strategy or the key strategy that really stood out to you and that you can be able to use in your business? So share with us. So we had some persons in the chat box. Yes, require full payments, reducing that receivable period. So that is how you can be able to say, all right, so let's reduce the days that it takes for you to make payments. See, how many of you, and this is another thing, as you share, how many of you drive a car? Anyone drive? Who drives? Give me a thumbs up, an emoji thumbs up. All right, Alicia drives. Selena drives. But when you're driving, there is a dashboard in front of you. And what does that dashboard have? It has your fuel gauge, it has your speedometer, it has your temperature gauge, right? Those are things that are indicators. We call it key performance indicators in business. This is a key performance indicator, your cash gap. Now, how often when you're on the road, which meter do you look at the most? Is it your temperature gauge or is it your fuel gauge? Selena, what do you look at the most?
You will.
That's right, the fuel gauge, right? So some people look at the fuel gauge, some people look at the speedometer. How fast am I going? Because the police is on the road, right? Right. That's an indicator to you how the machine, how that car is moving. So in business, we want to be able to understand this number as well, the cash gap in our business. What's the amount of days that it takes to receive money? Or when we've given out money, how long does it take for us to receive it? So just like the fuel gauge on your dashboard, this here is an indicator to you that where your cash is. So I trust that you are looking at your cash gap, your days that your money is out, just as you are looking at your fuel gauge, because you look at it really often, right? And for those of you who are taking notes for KPIs and for numbers, going to write this down. What gets measured gets managed. What gets measured gets managed. So when you start to measure or you have a number indicator, you are managing it. You put yourself in a position where you can be able to have more control over that aspect of your business. So we had a comment in the chat box. My business, customer jewelry, payments up front. Very good. So you expect payments up front. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. You can have a negative cash gap and you can have a positive cash gap. So what about if your customers were making payments upfront, advance payments on jewelry? What do you think about that? All right, so that's an option, right? You can be able to have your customers make advance payments on jewelry. Right, Alicia? What gets measured gets managed. That's right. And it goes for everything in our life. If we want to be able to get better at time management, get better at money management, what's the number? Do you have a budget? And how often are you looking at your time as you manage? All right. Good. Excellent. All right. If there are no more comments, just that you had some takeaways, something that you can be able to use in your business or implement in your business. Remember, it is important that as we go through our educational sessions, that it's not only about learning. See, when we learn stuff, it's good. We feel good. But we want to be able to get the results. How do you get the results? You get the results by the actions that you take, the things that you do. So as a, let's see what business owners we have. As a successful business owner, as an intentional business owner, as an optimistic business owner, these are words that we use. What would those people do? So as we look to be able to be much more successful in our business, understand the role that you play and do what is required. Trust that you have a good evening, and that brings me to the end of my presentation today. Over to you, Selena.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach Prem. I trust that we learned some stuff. We learned a lot. I learned a lot. And by the way, I look at the fuel and the radio. If the radio is working and the fuel is good, I'm ready to drive. Thank you so much, Coach Prem. All right, now I trust that you all learned and you took notes and you made your notes, of course. And let's pedal back to, I mentioned earlier that I would be calling, or I would do a roll call. So I'm gonna call the names of persons that I see here. However, there are some people who there's a person by the name of iPhone, and then we've got, okay, the other person dropped off. All right, so I'm going to be calling some names, and if you do not hear your name, please quickly unmute your mic and just let me know your names very quickly. So we are quickly running out of time and we've got something that's happening. All right, so let's see. All right, so we've got Stacy Carmichael, Alicia Henry, Kilona Carmichael, please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, Nikisha Fraser, Alicia Carter, Tiffany Brown, Vani Rupram, sorry, Denise Andrews, Shanette Garnett. If I missed your name, please let me know very quickly. Did I miss anyone?
Carol Carmichael.
Carol Carmichael. All right, fantastic. We've got the Carmichaels in the house. All right, Carol Carmichael. All right, so I'm going to be sharing my screen now just for a little. I hope, I know when you registered, there's a chance to win something. If you could drop in the chat what you remember, you have a chance to win. Let's see who can remember or who is even aware of that promotion that GTT has going on right now. Let's see, a phone, that's right. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen now and confirm if you can see my screen. We've got a few persons on the call, and I'm about to, well, we're gonna spin to see who is that lucky person who will win that phone. Compliments of GTT. All right, so let's take it away. I'm gonna spin very quickly. Oh, Carlotta John has just joined. Let's see. I'm gonna be adding Carlotta right back. She was here earlier. All right, Miss Carlotta, let's see. You just, I know you got logged out. We are about to spin to win. Spin to win a phone. So let me do it very quickly. Let's see who is going to be our lucky winner for today's session. And remember to download the HerVenture app. We've got 1 week remaining. We've got 4 more winners to go. If you have a friend, tell that friend. You have family, tell them. Please, if you have a dog that's well pampered and has a phone, please download the HerVenture app on that phone. All right, let's see who's going to be today's lucky winner of that fantastic Samsung phone. Oh my, all right, congratulations to Stacy Carmichael. Pretty sure you saw that. All right, so one of the Carmichaels would have been able to walk away with today's prize. Congrats. And I'm so happy that you took the time to be here with us and of course invest in your own future, your education, and of course your business. Now you want to head on over to the HerVenture Facebook page and of course GTT Facebook page. Just go ahead, drop some comments, likes on the live. Please give us your experience. Tell us about your experience, what you learned, and of course share, tag a friend, and all that good stuff. Congratulations to our winner. Congrats and thank you so much. Take care. Miss Stacy, please stay on the call. I'm gonna call you right after. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much for being here, and we cannot wait. We cannot wait to talk to you again. We have got an in-person session next week. That's going to be next Friday, the 18th of February at our location at Action Invest. Now, I'm Selena Bacchus, the marketing officer at Action Invest. We are a business coaching entity. You need those business to scale up, grow, and you need the education to get there. And of course, the guidance. Action Invest is your place. So special thanks to GTT for bringing this to you and of course, pledging the fantastic price of a Samsung phone, which Stacy would have, she would have won. Remember, but you do have the chance to win. You can capitalize on the deal, the promotion. It's still happening. Head on over to our Facebook page. That's GTT Facebook page or HerVenture Facebook page. You can get the download links. Go ahead and hit download on the HerVenture app, register, and that's your automatic entry. Best of luck to you. Thank you so much. Take care. Thank you so much.
Bye.